Party on, Todd.
Party on, Sal.
Rock on, party on, Blake.
Rock on, party on, Blake.
On.
Yeah. Woo-hoo.
Well, welcome, POJCasters, to another episode of the Party on Johncast, a most excellent podcast dealing with theology, music, nonsensical jokiness, as you can see Todd doing, if you're watching. And just most righteous themes. So I'm Reverend Sal, aka the Angel of Death, validated minister in doing hospice chaplaincy in the Presbytery of the Highlands, PC USA.
Always needing to be validated.
Validate me, please.
That's the most degrading, category of ministry ever. Validated ministry. Like the ministry isn't valid unless we validate it. Which is exactly what it is.
Well, I will say, though, as a called and installed pastor, I do sometimes wish that I was validated once in a while. So
that's the dirty little secret. As validated as Sal is, the dirty secret is when you're working in a church, there's a lot of invalidation going on.
Quite a fair bit, yes.
Yes. So it's all fair. It is good to be validated. So we could take that positively or negatively, and we'll take it positively here on the podcast.
You don't have to defend your ministry to the presbytery every year, though. So that's
we don't. That's the dirty side of your end, right? Mm-hmm. Where you have to somehow justify that you're actually worthy of being called a pastor or a clergy. Yeah. The church.
That's a side rant.
Side rant. Yeah, that was a side rant. So let me introduce myself. We derailed that quickly. Boy, you're in trouble, guys. So I am the Rockin' Reverend Todd Laddick, who is an ordained elder in the United Methodist Church of Greater New Jersey, serving a congregation in Newton, New Jersey, on higher ground from where Sal used to be.
Yep, no longer above me.
No longer above you. Sorry, we're on equal foot. We're co-heirs in Christ.
That's right.
Co-workers in Christ.
Yeah. Okay, so
and I'm Reverend Blake Severson, the Viking vicar, wearing the appropriate shirt today. And
nice.
I'm a called and installed minister of word and sacrament, teaching elder plus names in Rock Island, Illinois, at South Park Presbyterian Church.
Awesome stuff. And it was really cool when Sal's like, all right, see everybody at 11, and Blake, you're like, yep, see you at 10. Different time zones, folks. Different time zones.
It is. I have to verbally process it now. Otherwise, I will try to show up at 11 my time. So
that's right. That's right.
I have to lock it in.
Yes. And then as you can hear, we're all in a nice, quiet, less staticky, less noisy environment this week. We're all in our offices, and that brings us to our most. Nope, not most. It brings us to our Brew segment.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
You know that God likes coffee?
How?
Really?
Because he had someone write about it in the book of Hebrews.
All the
I do
time.
have to ask. Did that joke precede Sal becoming a dad, or did it come after?
Oh, it preceded.
I've been telling dad jokes since before I was a dad.
Yeah. And that joke has been with us since the very beginning episode, or shortly thereafter, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's brewing. She brewed once, and he distills, of course,
a
couple times. Yeah. So anyway, and no, we're not drinking distilled water, just to make that clear.
No.
Yeah. So I guess I'll go first because I'm probably the most boring one. But I am drinking, if you can guess, a blueberry pomegranate refresher. Not much left to it, but it is in what I like to call, let's see if I can do this. I probably can't. Oh, there we go.
There it is.
It's in a Java sock. Let's see if I can turn it and see Java sock. you go to STOK-it.com and you can get all sorts of things to cover your drinks. It's fun. I really like it. And it keeps your drink cold longer. It's not insulated, but it's not like thermal, but it is insulated enough where it keeps your drinks cooler longer. So, and it keeps your hands from freezing when you hold them. It makes it comfy. So that's my drink.
Koozie.
Yes.
I should get one of those since we all drink iced coffee year round.
Yes, and you do go to Dunkin' Donuts and get these large things, and they're designed. If you can see the seam here, they're designed to actually fit the Dunkin' Donuts cup. And I think they have ones for Starbucks as well.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, that is some very specific brand allegiance on those.
That
things.
That is, yes.
Yep.
So
very nice.
Nice. Well, I am drinking coffee and always coffee. It's just in this isn't going to show up very well. It's my Yeti cup, but it's kind of floating in nothingness and destroying the background. But
you know what I can do? I can do this. Show it now.
There we go.
There we go.
There you go. I was going to say it hasn't showed up Yeti.
Here we go. We'll go back.
Hasn't shown up Yeti.
Yeah, that's awful. You must be right. Are you pregnant again? Because that's a strong dad joke. Because that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's for number 2.
Yeah, but I'm drinking all the coffee because we just had baby number 2 13 days ago, and so it's been very good. She's the best, and but she, a friend of mine asked me if she's sleeping. I'm like, she sleeps all the time, but never for long enough. And so, the way we have it working right now is I get up with the rest of the house, usually around 7. Megan has been up since 6 for the feeding, and then we feed her every 3 hours. And so I go from 7 o'clock until usually about 1 in the morning, because I cover the late night so that Megan can get some sleep, and then we swap, and it's early baby life. I had 3 double shots before I left the house, and now I'm having more coffee.
Amen. You're percolating.
Yeah. But it's, it's good. It's a good tired. But yeah, I'm just drinking STŌK. If you guys ever see the STŌK cold brew that you can get in stores, the totally unsweetened version, just straight up, wake me up, and let's get this day sorted. So
yeah. Before you're back on daddy late night shift again.
Yes, because it's always coming. We did it the first Sunday where I had to preach this Sunday, and that was a rough day.
I can imagine.
So that was a tough day, but it's fine. It'll be fine.
Cool. Well, congratulations, Daddy.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Congrats.
Yeah. So Sigrid Lee is her name. Good, strong Viking name.
Nice.
And how's Ava doing being a big sister?
Oh, Ada loved it. And we actually had a COVID scare with her last week, so we had to keep her away from the baby for a few days until her test came back, and that was awful. But she loves it. She loves her sister so much, and she wants to help. She has this sparkly sequined unicorn jacket. That's one of her favorite things. And so anytime she thinks the baby is cold, she'll put the sparkly sequined unicorn jacket on her sister wherever she is laying at the moment. She's very, very conscious of trying to make sure that Sigrid is okay. So
very nice.
Yeah. We're definitely having some challenges with the fact that mom and dad are constantly preoccupied with somebody other than Ada.
No, that's going to happen. Yeah.
But, all things considered, it could be a whole lot worse than it is.
Rock on. What are you drinking, Sal?
I'm drinking Dunkin.
Okay.
Iced coffee, my usual, because Starbucks is too far away.
Yes, for you it is. For me, it's not, but it still would be nice to be closer. And there is a Starbucks coming to Newton. Starbucks, Panera, and Chipotle. Yep.
Oh, Chipotle is a good get.
Yeah,
it's a good get.
Yep. So we're going to be rocking.
So if I was out on the road doing visits, I would have, all my visits are phone calls today. So I figured, let me just run real quick to Dunkin since it's here in town.
Yep.
Yeah. One little fun little pro tip I learned about Starbucks versus Dunkin is the Starbucks normal large, the venti, is a Dunkin medium.
Yes, that's true. And when you order Java socks, you have to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
If you're going to. Yep.
So the large, the same price drink at Dunkin is actually a full 6 ounces extra coffee, which, is either very good or very bad, depending on how much caffeine you've had that day.
Yes. Yeah, it's true. You actually do get your money's worth with Dunkin per size.
Yes.
And the nice thing about the refreshers is they're not too sweet. They have green tea in them, so they've got the caffeine, but they're not too sweet. So they're pretty, like, this is like, I think only 140 calories for this size, which is ridiculous. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's ridiculous. So I don't ever feel guilty getting the large. But yeah, so cool. So that, I guess then, friends, brings us to our most excellent music segment.
Indeed, it does.
Surprise Todd edition.
And have we got a treat for you, Todd?
So do we want to start off with that?
Oh boy.
Yeah, I think probably that'd be good. So I think I've mentioned this before. I am a not so closeted Eurovision fan.
Mm-hmm.
I love Eurovision a lot, and I think it's one of the best things you can watch every May. It's just fun and ridiculous and hilarious, and sometimes the music isn't terrible. This year, actually, the band that won was an actual band that played actual instruments on stage, which hasn't happened for a little while. They're an Italian band that is very much reminiscent of Iggy Pop. In fact, they had Iggy Pop come on and do a guest spot on one of their songs.
Oh, wow.
So pretty cool. But the band that I have for you today, I've already shared it with Sal, but the band that we would like you to experience today is a German band called Eskimo Callboy. And with a name like that, you're in for some good times. And what I would describe them as is if LMFAO and the Bloodhound Gang found heavy metal, and some pretty heavy metal.
Okay.
And so you have to watch the video because it's
and what was that? Who found heavy metal?
Bloodhound Gang.
Bloodhound Gang found heavy
and
metal.
LMFAO of Party Rock Anthem fame.
Party Rock is in the house tonight. Okay.
So go ahead. I sent you the link on our Facebook chat. So if you could go ahead and, I mean, just first of all, I mean, there should be a little clip.
Sure.
If you just see the opening screen, you're in for a good time. It's a guy with what is apparently a white man's Jerry curl and a mustache. So buckle up.
Okay, here we go.
That to me, and knowing a little bit about Eurovision, I was totally expecting some kitschy, poppy Eurovision song. And
what's that?
Like, oh,
and that is how
Blake,
it starts. Yeah,
that's how it starts. When Blake said that to me, I was expecting the kitschy, poppy Eurovision song,
and that was not what you were expecting at all.
Not what I was expecting.
Oh my God! Now let me.
So the deal with these guys is they are German, and they have officially submitted that song for Eurovision to win to try to be Germany's Eurovision contestant.
Wow! For the upcoming one.
For the upcoming one in 2022, they have officially submitted "Pump It" as their we want to be the Eurovision representative for Germany.
How can they say no to that? I mean,
that's part of the reason that I love Eurovision so much is like, they probably are going to be one of the more talented groups that puts their name in. And they actually have a relatively deep catalog at this point. I've been listening to their Spotify quite a bit lately.
Wow.
And
is all of their music a blend of that, or is that song?
It is all in that neighborhood. Yes.
Wow.
It's not, it's like, another way to describe it would be boy band metal. Right. Very much in that neighborhood. But as I've listened to more of it, the Bloodhound Gang comparisons get really strong because it's, I don't know if were you Bloodhound Gang listeners?
I've listened to them. Yes.
I listened to them a lot, and it's all like, high school boy, sex humor, and that's most of what their songs are. And so, I could see that posing itself as a challenge, but I could also see Germany being like, oh, this will be hilarious. Let's do it.
Right.
So it's in the, nobody ever thought that the band Lordi was going to make it for Finland, and it did, and ended up winning. They'll have to clean that song up a bit for Eurovision. There's about 42 too many F-bombs in that song to be a Eurovision submission.
Pretty sure.
But yes, so that was my theme song for the last week. Basically, I was just listening to it nonstop.
And I'd imagine if they know that, and they probably did clean it up and probably submitted. I wonder if they submitted that version or if they submitted a more clean version.
I am fairly certain from what I have seen that the song you just watched
is what they submitted.
Is what they actually submitted to the officials of Eurovision. So yeah, I don't think they're making many apologies for who they are.
Good for them. It's metal. That's heavy metal.
Yes. But one of the things that I talked about with Sal was I think it would be terrific to do a Eurovision themed episode. For us to do a deep dive on the good, the bad, and the ugly of Eurovision.
Let's do it.
And there was quite literally the good, the bad, and the ugly
entered
into the Eurovision.
Yeah,
there's even Will Ferrell did a Eurovision movie a couple of years ago on Netflix.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and if you have not, all listeners, all who are watching, listening, anybody who comes across this, if you have not seen Eurovision Song of the Saga of Fire and Ice, you have to watch it.
Is that the one by Will Ferrell?
Will Ferrell and Rachel McAdams. They are Icelandic singers, so you get a lot of pictures of Iceland, which alone is worth it. You also get Viking Pierce Brosnan for those who are interested in such things. It is just tremendous.
Saga of Ice and Fire.
I think that's it. Just Eurovision and Will Ferrell, you'll find it. It's unbelievable.
Not the best Will Ferrell movie, but as far as it totally envisions all of Eurovision.
Oh, I think I've heard of it. It's an actual movie.
It's an actual movie. So he loves Will Ferrell loves Eurovision and wanted to make this movie, and they pulled it off, and it released during the pandemic. It was one of the early pandemic kind of
right. I remember
post Tiger King and pre the next thing. I think Eurovision came out. But it's a celebration of this completely ridiculous pop culture phenomenon. But for me, the best part of Eurovision are the how do we describe them? The proud of their national heritage at literally all cost nations that will do things that make zero sense. It's not any good, but man, are they diving deep into Moldovan culture.
Gotcha.
It's just amazing. So I was exposed to it in Denmark about 10 years ago now. And I've this will be, I think, my 10th or 11th consecutive year of doing whatever I have to watch Eurovision.
Well, speaking of the Danes, I just watched, I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's up there as one of my favorite Hamlets, Sir Laurence Olivier's classic performance of Hamlet. Like, he was born to play that role. And great play. Had nothing to do with what you're talking about other than Denmark. So just thought I would let you know that.
Fair enough. I've been to that castle. I've been to the castle that inspired William Shakespeare
to write Hamlet.
That play. Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah. Oh, it's such a good play. Oh. Anyway, what are you guys listening to now that I've listened to what I've listened to?
Well, obviously I've been listening to that, and I will come back to the band Royal Blood over and over again. They're so good. And I'm getting my daughter hooked on it. I've been very proud. She's asking for them in the car now instead of Rock Trolls and Frozen. She wants to hear, as she calls it, the Magic Hands song, because one of their new song has a lyric that talks about magic hands.
Okay.
And so she loves it.
Cool. So Blake, you listen to what is it called again?
Royal Blood and Eskimo Callboy.
Royal Blood and Eskimo Callboy. Okay. And what about you, Sal?
Well, since sticking with the Scandinavian theme, since I got their T-shirt on, concert tee. I've been listening a lot to Europe's last album, Walk the Earth.
Europe. Okay.
And yep, there, and the title track off that album is Walk the Earth. Came out in 2017-ish. And I love that Europe does this thing on their social media thing throughout the pandemic. Every Friday, you could request for them to do a video, and they would record. They do like these live lockdown editions of their music, which was pretty cool. And now they're doing every Friday. You ask them questions, so each member of the band will, put out a video on Instagram answering fan questions.
Cool.
But Walk the Earth is kind of like an anthem, and it kind of fits the New Year podcast. Mm-hmm. But some of the lyrics, let's see where to go. Yeah, we walk the earth like champions with heart and soul, like champions. Our conscience weighs on all of our minds, so we lay our hearts right on the line. We keep pushing on, holding steady and strong, knocking them down just to make our home. Like a battle hymn, yeah, that will lead us on. So kind of figure it goes with it's a new year. We're still in this pandemic bull crap.
Yep.
We are.
We're marching forth.
Ramping up again.
It is. And Omicron now makes up 3% of all cases of COVID in the US.
Well, here and so there's a podcast I listen to. Do you guys know the name? Oh gosh, where does his name go? It's gone. Michael Osterholm. Have you heard that name? Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you remember way back 30 years ago when this thing got started. There was a Joe Rogan podcast that was getting shared around talking about the severity of COVID, and he, before he became an anti-vaxxer and denier and all these insane things. Honestly, Joe Rogan was one of the first people that reached a lot of people in saying, like, this is serious. You need to buckle up. This is going to be bad. The guy he interviewed was a man named Michael Osterholm, who is the head of I can't remember, it's called CIDRAP, but it's an infectious disease think tank in Minnesota at the University of Minnesota. And so I've been listening to his podcast on Spotify. Anybody can get it for free. He's done now 90 episodes, 90 weeks, or, he's done one just about every week since this thing got started to keep people up to date on what's going on and what's new. And this most recent one was a very weird episode to listen to because he's talking about how Delta's not even done with us yet. Delta is still rising. And that's the one to be really, really scared of because it's, the severity of illness is really pretty bad. And,
yeah. Delta sucks. Yeah.
Delta's not good news. But he was like, as weird as it is to say, Omicron is giving maybe a thing that should provide us a lot of hope.
Yes.
Because it not really clicked until I listened to it that these viruses, these variants are fighting for dominance.
Yeah.
Right. They're fighting to win. And be the COVID virus that becomes the one that makes it.
And ironically, as they get stronger, their strength becomes their downfall in a lot of ways because they don't think, but obviously no virus wants to kill its host. It wants to live off of its host. Right. So,
Right.
so ironically, as strong as they get, they start to go this way.
Yes.
Yep.
And Omicron is exceedingly infectious.
Yes. Way more so than Delta. Yep.
Yeah. So like, I mean, I would give a listen. I'll finish up with this soon. But like one of the things that blew my mind about this last episode was, I don't know if you remember when we wwere talking about like the RT that, and that like, if you're at 1 point, whatever, that means it's more than one case per case that grows. So it means your case counts are growing. Current studies of it in South Africa are saying that the RT for Omicron is like 3 or 4. So like if I got Omicron, odds are that 3 or 4 other people would from me. It's just bonkers. But the severity of disease is so much
less,
that it may be that this is just this. I mean, his point was kind of like we almost kind of hope that Omicron wins this battle.
Yeah, if Omicron wins this is something we can actually treat and get.
Everybody will get it, and nobody or very few people will die.
Yep.
And it will be the one that kind of wins the game. And that might be, as weird as it is, that might be part of our way out of this thing.
That I agree. And I've had that kind of similar hope, actually.
Yeah. But I would highly recommend him because he has been right from the beginning. He is now, everything that he has predicted has happened. He said in 18 months of this pandemic, 800,000 people would be dead. And that was back in March of 2020. And at the 18-month mark, it was 780,000 in America.
Right there.
And I mean, he's just time and time again, he's been on the money. And so I will, I'll share a link so people can get to it. Cause it's the information is really valuable. And he admits when he's wrong, and that's a big thing for me too, is he talks about the process of science that we're learning constantly. And so he revises opinions when the data warrants revising an opinion.
That's what scientists do. People don't understand this, but that's the whole point of being closed-minded does not help a scientist ever.
At all. No. Yeah. And so I highly recommend it. So I'll link to it so that people can check it out because I can't recommend it enough.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Rock on, guys. And so that is our most excellent music segment and our most excellent medical segment too, while we're at it. And and both are MEM, most excellent music or medical. Okay, so that brings us into our just general, well, actually, why don't I think this is a great time, guys, to really kind of show just a best of clip of all the things that we've done throughout the year. So why don't we check this out?
I'm Reverend Sal Marco, an ordained teaching elder in the Presbyterian Church of USA in the validated ministry of chaplaincy.
And I am Reverend Todd Laddick. I am an ordained elder in the United Methodist Church of Greater New Jersey, serving a congregation in Newton, New Jersey, formerly on higher ground from Sal.
The only higher ground I give him until January 1st.
Which we've already hit.
That's right.
As a pecan is actually regional. Depending on where you go in the country regionally, depends on how you pronounce that.
Okay.
Kind of like tomato.
Okay, I'm gonna correct you on that because technically that was my ex-mother-in-law.
Oh, sorry, I said aunt, didn't I?
I did.
Sorry, aunt, whoever. Your ex-mother-in-law. Yes.
So for those,
how to compare your aunt to your ex-mother-in-law?
So, according to that, technically, according to the Canadians, you pee in a can and you eat pecans.
Yes. Well, that's what Canadians say, eh?
Hey, got a boot.
We always, no offense to Canada, but we in America always base what we say off of Canadians.
That's right.
And France, of course.
And France. Try not to speak like those French Canadians.
By the way, have you eaten your freedom fries lately?
I have not. I'm trying to stay away from freedom fries.
Oh God.
I have enough freedom already, so thank you.
I went there, didn't I?
You hear me crunching?
I hear
my
you.
Oreo.
Oh, you're eating an Oreo? Wait, you're going to have an Oreo right before you have a whiskey?
Yeah.
Tell me how that goes for you.
Yeah. Didn't think that through. I am drinking, and we've had it on the podcast before. I got a not a bourbon, and actually whiskey, Irish whiskey. It's what's his name? Colin
McGregor,
the mixed martial artist. His whiskey, it's proper 12.
So good.
So good.
So I'm doing a classic London beef eater gin. And it's just a good solid martini.
Nice. So I guess that's our music segment, which kind of brings us to
May the 4th be with you.
and also with you.
Amen.
Amen.
It's our May the 4th segment.
May the 4th. May the Schwartz be with you.
And yes, we did intentionally release. We know we always release on the 1st of the month, but we did intentionally release on the 4th of this month because it is May the 4th.
Yep. And don't forget, beware the revenge of the 5th.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That's the 2 days of the year. So who wants to go first? Because we are actually talking about brews today, I think.
No, each one of us are talking about brews, except for Grogu. He doesn't drink.
He drinks tea.
Yeah, he doesn't drink
Or frogs.
brew. Or frogs, right? That was one of the more disturbing elements of season 2. That really was.
No. That is not food. Nap time. No. I told you not to do that. How many did you eat? No.
Absolutely. It is great to be here today. Where are we?
We are in a brew house.
A brew house. Which brew house?
Angry Eric's brew house.
Angry Eric in Hampton, New Jersey, hailing from Hampton, straight out of Hampton.
Well, welcome, POJCasters, to a totally live, spooktacular Halloween special.
Absolutely. How awesome is that?
Who is this? Is this Freddy Krueger?
It is. That's Freddy Krueger.
Really?
He's trying to outdo me with my cross.
And it would wrap itself right around the top of his head.
Awesome.
There's a lot of stuff and
a lot of good stuff.
A lot of good stuff and a lot of fun times for sure. We had a really awesome year. I mean, we had our first live show. We've had Blake join us as a third mic, and I can tell just by the way he's leaning into that chair there. He's at home now. He's feeling less and less like a guest and more like a part of the show.
I'm still wondering what I'm supposed to say when the party ons happen, but I'll find it.
You'll find it. But
find it.
now you're offering me to watch Eurovision and stuff. So I mean, here we are. Look at this team.
Right.
No, we've had a great year and more to come. I mean, we recorded at a brewery. We recorded live. We did a lot of cool things at a time when we were pretty restricted. So the last year and a half or 2 years have been a ride on the Party on John cast, but they've been a ride for us all. So it's been a great time. So what were your favorite, what are the things that we can always look at the negative, and we could talk all day long about what sucked about 2021, but why do that? So what was great about 2021?
Well, I can go because I think I shared this on our bonus content last episode. I don't think I've officially shared to the wider general audience. Congratulations to Blake for his birth of his daughter. But in May, Allison and Calvin and I are expecting Calvin's little brother, Alex, to join us. So the rough estimate of his arrival is May 8th, which is the day after our anniversary, and give or take 2 weeks after Calvin's birthday. So it's going to be an interesting future of how we handle birthdays.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, that's the exciting thing of about 2021 was Calvin is now almost 2. He's 20 months. Yeah, he'll be 20 months old on Christmas. And he's going to be a big brother. And he's going to be, I think, Blake, like your daughter, I think he's going to be an awesome older sibling and really enjoy it. And hopefully not do what my sister did when I was born, which was to take a hammer and walk up the stairs. And my parents said, "What are you doing?" And she said, "I'm going to see what Salvatore's insides look like." Oh, that was my childhood. Yeah. Love you. So anyway.
Oh, here, not a hammer, honey. Here's a saw.
Yeah, right.
Here, take a screwdriver.
Here's an X-Acto knife. That'll help.
So, no, I think he's going to be a great. I know that was a weird, morbid little fun fact of my childhood, but
How old
we're
was
looking
she?
forward to it. She's 3 years older, so she was about 3.
So it was an innocent serial killer kind of vibe.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still just worrying enough that you have to pay attention for a couple of years to make sure that was a one-time deal.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, sis, for throwing you under the bus.
Yeah. Well, my sis, when I was 3, she was like, we were 2 years apart. So she was like 1. So it was like I was probably 3.5 no, it was probably 3. And she was 1 and crawling or whatnot, or maybe a little bit younger than 1. And, I was watching Mr. Rogers, my favorite thing to do. And all of a sudden my mom hears me screaming because she decided to bite me in the back while I was watching Mr. Rogers. Literally a backbiter. Yeah. She's like backstabbing, backbiting, but I love my sister. So, and we had many years of giving it back and forth to each other. So that's where it started though. It started with Mr. Rogers.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was a highlight of 2021.
Sweet. Yeah, that's a highlight of 2021 for sure.
And something to look forward to in 2022. And I'm now almost a year into my new position. So looking forward to another good year of hospice and being a lot less stressed and in a healthier place.
Sal, you've been far healthier since since throughout this whole year, for sure. I can tell. A lot less stress.
You know how I can tell?
How?
Because we don't text as often.
That is true. We do text pretty often still.
We do,
but it isn't like an hour on the hour kind of thing.
Yep.
Like, are you available for coffee? I need out.
I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
I need to vent.
True. Yeah, good stuff. Well, that's good though. That's good. So I guess I can go since Sal went and I'm the next in line here. So there are a couple things I really had that went well for me in 2021. We got a new pilot, which I've already dented. Well, I didn't dent it. Somebody driving past me did. And that that is what it is. But it's not dented too bad, and it's still a beautiful car, and I love it. So, nicks and dents and scars, you get them through life. Nothing stays new forever. But it is a great car. So that was number one. Number two, we also got I really worked hard on my sleeve, and my sleeve is almost done. I went in on Thursday, as Sal knows, and got most of the work done. Like, I'll show you. I don't know what I can show you without like getting. Well, first off, I can do this. So like you can see over here, I had to look. Like there's still some lines that aren't done yet, and leaves and stuff. But like she mainly finished most of my tattoo work, and I have about probably one more session left, maybe some touch-up sessions after that if need be. But I think I have one more session left and I'm done. So I'll try to remember to post pictures of the work that's done so far. But you're gonna have to see my bare chest. It's just unfortunate, but if you want to see the artwork at this point, you just got to suck it up and stare at my not so beautiful bare chest. But it's getting more beautiful with the artwork on it, I think. So it's making it better to stare at. So that was another thing. And also I've started my own adventures in brewing beer. And Blake and Sal both know that because I can't help but share, even though you're living in solidarity with your wives and I'm torturing you with homebrew. I'm sorry about that, guys. But I love you so much that I have to share my excitement.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll shrink down now.
It does not even bother me anymore. So we are big Costco advent calendar people.
Oh, right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we got the beer one and we've had to stop. I can't drink beer anymore. After having Athletic Brewing and all these other non-alcoholic versions that, I was able to drink and just feel really good afterwards. Mm-hmm. Drinking these delicious beers out of this advent calendar, which were great, but I just felt awful after each one. And so
because you're not used to the alcohol, right?
It's something about the beer. The wine is fine.
Oh, really? It's the beer.
Wine has been fine. It is the beer that is causing a problem. So I think as I was saying earlier, because I liked Athletic so much, we might be done with beer. Like I'm done with beer. I think for good.
Good for you. I
support you and rejoice with you in your wonderful hobby, but it is no longer triggering and making me sad.
Good. So you can share in my happiness then.
Indeed, I am happy that you are happy, and I do not want to try your beer.
So I can sit at level playing field. I don't have to go down.
You do not have to debase yourself for us.
Okay, good. Yeah. How about you, Sal?
At least for me.
Because I know you still like beer.
I still like beer. I enjoy wine too, and
I do love wine. A good wine.
I was thinking the other day because I think that adds to some of the clarity I've had the last couple of months is not drinking.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Go figure. But I do have some scotch and some rum in my cabinet that
you can sneak here and there.
I can sneak here and there once, generally my wife and the baby go to sleep around the same time every night. So I can always relax but I haven't had that urge to do that.
Good.
As of lately. So unless Todd's texting me 15 pictures of him enjoying the Angry Eric's or his homebrew, then I'm like,
it's one of those two. This one's for you, Sal. Yes. Well, and Angry Eric is a little unfair because it's also the atmosphere. Like, oh damn, I'm here and he's there. That bastard. Yeah. I get it. Yeah. Right. We're all gonna have to. Well, it's gonna be hard, but we're gonna make it work with Blake too. We're gonna all someday have to just do like an in-person somewhere. Mm-hmm. Over, you can get O'Doul's if you want, or wine. Blake. Yep. And they have wine at bars, so that works. Yeah, we're gonna have to do that. It'll be fun. So
plenty of interim pastor positions in New Jersey if
that's the rumor. Yeah.
Yep. Come this way.
Yeah, and so looking at my 21, the big one, obviously, having a kid is a huge deal, and it's really exciting. And, I found myself excited to find out who Ada is going to be as a sister. It's this new facet of her that we weren't going to find out about. We didn't know, right? We didn't know what she's going to be like. And so it's this new opportunity to see this different way that our kid is going to be in the world. So that's exciting, obviously. But honestly, one of the things I think probably the peak of 2021, and anybody who knows me knows that this was going to be the top of the list no matter what, was spending 5.5 weeks in Alaska in a row. Was just, to call it life-changing is trite, but it's true. Because it provided for both Megan and I a lot of clarity about what we want our life to be, which has been tough, right? We are told from almost the moment we're born that your work is your life and it's everything of who you are, right? We don't ask people how they are. We don't ask people what they enjoy. We say, what do you do? What do you do? Right? What's your work? And so it's been hard because the work has been hard the last 2 years. I occasionally am reminded, like, not only are you in a pandemic, but we are also in the process of trying to merge 4 churches into one during a pandemic. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I'm so tired all the time.
Yeah.
But that time in Alaska, we just know that that's where we want to be. And it's just, there's just no questions anymore about that.
So now it's just a matter of getting there.
There's clarity there, right? And clarity is good. And we're not just thinking about, okay, well, what do we have to do to pay these bills and do that thing? Like, we are starting to kind of get together a plan of how we can get where we know we want to be, with Megan's family all being up there and me just loving the mountains the way that I do. It's just the only thing that makes sense. So now it's just like, okay, so now what do you do? But obviously getting to cross a glacier and climb a bunch of mountains. And so I have a Garmin watch that tracks like all my, steps and stuff like that. And, my aspiration, probably not for 2022, but at some point, is to break my record for steps in a month.
Awesome.
Which was ridiculous. I'm gonna pull it up here. Where am I? I can't find it right now. It was something like 263,000 some steps in the month of July. And so my goal is to get to a place where I can beat that regularly. The plan when we came back from Alaska was, oh yeah, I'm going to hike. I'll find places around here. And I'm just like, I don't want to go hiking in Rock Island, Illinois.
I was going to say Illinois.
Like, I was thinking about it, like some of the hikes that I did were, 12, 13 miles. There's a state park near here that I would have to do 12 laps of all of the trails in the park.
You'd be better off if you wanted to hike outside of Alaska. You'd be better off coming to where we are than you would be hiking around Rock. Forget it. I know. It's like I could walk to Wisconsin, and it would be about the same as what I did. Actually, it would be, if I walked to my mom's house in Wisconsin, it would be less than the miles I put on when I was in Alaska. Right. That's like here you could walk the Appalachian Trail from Maine all the way down to Georgia if you wanted. Yeah.
But so the long and short of it is the best thing I think that happened in the midst of all this was just that clarity. That purpose of kind of intentional vision of like, this is what we want. And it's how I want to raise my girls too. Right. Like, I don't, I think about, I want Ada loved being in the woods and in the mountains when we were in Alaska. She loved it. She really thrived. And now we're back to screen time, and I want to watch a show and just like being an indoor kid. And part of it is because I'm so not motivated to go outside here. And that's on me. I own that, right? I'm sure we could find things, but it's tough. That's been exciting, is to just have that real clarity. And so, we're still looking. Interims are a possibility. A designated, short-term, designated, possibly long-term job just opened up in Evergreen, Colorado, which is right in the heart of the Rockies. 7,000 feet is the elevation of the town.
Right.
And so, I mean, we're just kind of looking, we have come to the conclusion that, retirement is probably not a thing we're ever going to be able to afford. And so if we want to have a life that's worth living, we got to do it now instead of later. We can't delay it. And so we're just committed to making that happen.
Cool.
Which is good. And so I'm excited to see what 2022 brings.
I forgot.
I think there will be a move in 22. That's my guess.
I forgot to mention something as well. I forgot to mention that another thing I'm excited about in 2021 is that I first time ever released my own album under my project name Tragic Life. Ooh. And it came out of giving our patrons a taste of the music first on actually I gave them the entire album for free first on SoundCloud that they could listen to through Patreon, and that actually had an extra song on it, O Come Emmanuel, that the album that I released does not have. So if you're a patron, you really got a treat there because you got an extra song that isn't on the album. But the album came out. It's on Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, YouTube Music. Go down the list. It's there. So that's really exciting. And I'll post a link to that in the episode notes for those who aren't patrons, who don't already have that album for free. If you have any of those streaming services, you can find it there and listen to it. Or you can buy it on iTunes or, Google Play Music or wherever you can buy it from. But the thing I'm looking forward to in 2022, well, there's a lot. My daughter is a senior this year. She's graduating. So I'm looking forward to that, but I'm also, a little anxious about the fact she's going away to college, she's got college offers coming in and that's going to happen. And that is, and we've been through that once with our older daughter, who's now doing the Disney college program down in Walt Disney World. And so that's something I look forward to. It's an important time in my daughter's life, and she's had a really great year. She's the president of TRIM, which is the National Music Honor Society. She was one of the 3 drum majors in the marching band. She's choir council president and co-ensemble leader. And I mean, she's just living the life in high school and just doing a ton of things. And she's going to be in the musical coming up in the winter. So there's a lot going on for her, and it's just an exciting year for her. And I'm excited to hopefully bring our church forward even more from the pandemic into some sort of normalcy, whatever that looks like. Obviously, not everything will be ever normal again the way it was, but I'm looking forward to that. But we have some challenges, I think, as all churches do. I'm sure your church does too, Blake, with finances and all of that stuff that's going on. And I don't know if you're experiencing this, but well, we have come back and we are streaming online, but we've come back fully in person. Not everybody has. And more importantly, not everybody who used to give are giving, so we've survived the pandemic, but we can't say that it hasn't had its effect. And so I think all pastors are in that weird space. So I look forward to the future with hope. But I'm not going to say there's no anxiety there either.
Yeah, we, as I've mentioned before, we're working on this merger with the 4 PCUSA churches here in town, and I was becoming a bit pessimistic about the odds. And we had a town hall on Sunday, and now I would be shocked if it doesn't happen.
Wow.
It was honestly, for me, it was a really proud moment to watch. I sat at the back watching the Zoom feed to see if anybody on Zoom wanted to chip in. So the session just stood up there and ran it and did it. And it was awesome. it's, you know, kind of like a proud dad moment when you start hearing your words coming out of other people's mouths.
Yes, I love when that happens.
And it was great. And so, you know, I'm really feeling confident that it's going to go. And you know, with some of the things we're thinking about, right, you know, I feel confident that they can handle whatever this next phase is going to be. So our vote is going to be on January the 9th to officially make the decision if we're doing it or not.
Wow.
You know, so it's still up in the air. We got, you know, about a month before we'll really know. But, you know, based on what I heard on Sunday, I really would be floored if it doesn't go at this point. And so, you know, for me, that was a good kind of end of year, like, yeah, you don't suck at your job moment.
Right.
You know, because there's been a lot of that this year where you feel like, man, I'm just not very good at what I do. You know, because, you know, the angry voices are always the ones that make the most noise, right? And so to finally see something that we've been working on for a year and a quarter now, almost a year and a half, we've been working on this. Which is insane. We've been working on this for almost the entire pandemic. It's ridiculous. But to finally see that thing look like it's going to come home and work has been super cool.
Awesome. Yeah.
So 2022 is going to be an interesting year for everybody here in Rock Island.
It will be.
So
yeah.
But, you know, one of the things I think I was most proud of too was that as much as there was that anxiety and people saying like financially we can't make it, so we have to do this, there was obviously that was there, but there was more talk of this is what God is doing. This is hopeful. This could lead us into the freedom to use our gifts better than we can now while we're just struggling to keep the lights on.
Right.
And so there is a sense of hope and new energy that was really present in the room, which I think gives it the life that it needs to really be successful.
Absolutely. You know what I'm noticing, Blake? You have a very green side cut haircut there. And yes, I have green hair coming out of my ear.
Yeah. I thought I'd try something new, you know.
Sal, you're clean cut.
I'm clean cut.
He's a corporate man.
He's a corporate man.
I'm the corporate
he has to validate every year, so he can't take risks with his hair.
You can't have hair coming out of your ear and then try to seek validation. Right. It just doesn't work.
Can't shave my head and have. Dad will never go for it.
Yeah. I gotta stay in line for Dad. He's pretty.
Whenever you talk about validation, Sal, I think about our former roommate, John Kruckenberg, constantly just yelling, "Do you love me now, Dad?"
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
I love John.
I wonder if that guy's alive. Is he alive still? Do you know?
He is still alive.
Good.
I connected to him on Instagram.
Nice.
I don't think he ever really finished. Last I knew, he was one credit away from getting the degree.
Oh,
I think he walked away from it.
Yeah.
With one credit left? Yikes.
With like 1 or 3 credits left.
Like just take a dopey class at that point.
I could see that with him though. He's a man who would stand very strongly on principle, even if it was sorely mistaken. So if he has come to the ethical conclusion that to complete the degree would breach his values, he will not do it.
Gotcha.
So now he's out with his family.
Oh, cool. Question for you guys, which is a good concluding question for our podcast. What do you hope for the Party on Johncast in 2022? Whether it happens or not, who knows? But what are your hopes? I'll start. I'll break the ice. I can say that we are hoping to interview at least another band, if not more. I have one that I'm kind of working with. I don't know if it'll happen. I was hoping maybe February, but I don't know if that'll happen, or maybe sometime later, because they've got some releases and stuff coming out. I know they have a new single and video coming out this month, and then they have an album coming out in April. So I won't really reveal their name yet, but they are. I will put it this way: they are a death metal band, and we'll who happens to also be very heavily influenced by H.P. Lovecraft. So, so you can imagine those two mixing together, which you can, because that makes sense. That's going to be a cool interview if we can pull that off. So that's one thing I'm hopeful for. But I as always, I really, really am hopeful to expand not just what we do on the show, because I think we have a really awesome show. I hope we're able to expand our viewership and expand our patrons. This stuff this stuff costs us time and money to do, and we love doing it. And it's fine that some people, can't afford that and they watch it for free. And that's why we're here. That, this isn't a money making outfit, but if anybody likes this and can support us, boy, that would help. So, so that's kind of, so we're trying, I'm hoping to expand what we can do with the Patreon account and what we can offer there, which we've already made some headway. So that's my hope for 2022.
Wait, you guys didn't quit your jobs for this?
No. No. It's a proof.
I'm
joking. Yeah, I was gonna say, to prove that, here we go. We can just go right here and look where we are. We all got books and yeah. Okay, back to this, because this is more fun.
There you go. No, I too. I think to get the outreach, bigger audience would be great. Definitely some more patrons. Because like Todd said, this is not a money making venture for us, but things like microphones cost money, hosting fees cost money, websites cost money,
Zoom costs money. Yep.
So would be nice to increase our, and there's benefits to being our patrons. You get to interact with us and possibly be on the show. Get
a free magnet. Car
magnet.
Yeah. We need to give you one, Blake. Not that. I mean, you're now officially on the show. You need your own official car magnet, I think.
Yeah,
so
probably
we'll have to get that to you. Yeah.
So, and there's a possibility. I had a possibility of having an author on the show, connections through Twitter. So which I had shared with Todd. So we can work that out.
Yep.
A Christian author.
Nice.
Yeah, that would be great if we could get a Christian author on here. So sounds like we got some cool stuff ahead. How about you, Blake? As the new installment.
The new guy. Those things sound good. I'm still, still finding my comfort level as a equal part of the team. So maybe establishing that a little bit more, but I would love to do just as an episode theme, like I said, to do a Eurovision episode.
It's happening.
Like either a review or a preview, because the music videos, once the countries make their selections, the videos start kicking out, and you start to see their actual choices. And then I could talk about Eurovision all day.
Sure.
But I would love to do that. And should the universe and the COVID variant wars finally end, I think in 22 would be neat to do something in person if we can manage that. But that might take a little more schedule manipulation too.
Being that there will be travel involved, yes.
I think that's it. Just kind of getting more comfortable and doing that Eurovision and trying to keep bringing my own personal flavor to the show would be good.
Amen. Sounds like folks got a lot to look forward to in 2022 with the Party on Johncast, what it sounds like. So I'm excited about it. Well, this is a good place to end the show and to end the show for those who aren't patrons and those of you who are, you can stay tuned because we are definitely going to carry on with our bonus segment. But in the meantime, friends, do check out the episode notes. There's a lot of good stuff there, stuff we talked about today, stuff that's there for every episode for you to check out. So check out those links. Also, remember that you really ought to be excellent to each other.
And don't be a jerk.
And Skol.
Skol. Rock on, folks.
Party on, guys.
Party on, Sal.
Party on. Welcome
Party on.
back, Podcasters, to the bonus content. Bonus.
Oh, yeah. Bonus. Yeah.
So we have a very inappropriate yet very hilarious topic provided by Blake.
So Blake, why don't you
Todd-
explain where you got this from, and then I will
All right.
lead
So,
us.
And
into
Todd will actually say what it is.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
I'm big on context. So one of my very best friends is the guy that all of us knew that had the deepest, darkest downloads you've ever experienced, right? This is a guy who had on VHS Pink Floyd live at Pompeii before they released it.
So he's a
this
good
is
bootlegger.
The man, like he spent a lot of time on the internet with people in China, getting things. Like he has BBC sessions of Jim Morrison talking about his favorite type of weed in England. Like,
Oh wow.
it's insane. Like the guy can find anything, and he just
So we won't
sent-
mention his name for
for many reasons. Yeah.
many reasons.
But he just sent an album, a real, actual vinyl pressed Christmas album, maybe single. I'm not sure.
looks
but,
fairly old too.
It looks fairly old, and it really exists.
Okay, so here it is. It is, oh fuck, I shot Saint Nick in the dick. What the fuck? Why? I'm here to bring you shit. That's the full title. I'll say that again. Oh fuck, I shot Saint Nick in the dick. What the fuck? Why? I'm here to bring you shit.
And there's a child with his hand over his head, and his
Going like
head bowed
this.
down with a pistol in his hand, and Saint Nick screaming in agony.
So it's a kid who shot Saint Nick in the dick.
Who
And he's face
obviously,
palming. He's face palming.
who obviously just saw Mama kissing Santa Claus or Daddy's kissing Santa Claus.
Oh, yeah,
Or
maybe
grandpa
both.
running over grandma with a
Yeah.
reindeer. Yeah. I maybe
So-
saw all of that.
And that makes me ask the question: what is your favorite satire or favorite non-traditional Christmas music?
Yeah, I really do. I'm going to go old with this, but I really do love Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer. I love it just because it's so like, I mean, I'd be happy with Grandpa getting run over by a reindeer. It's not that I'm happy Grandma got ran over by the reindeer, but the song is just so like, what's the word? Irreverent. That I have to love that. And it's fun, and now it's been around long enough to where it's kind of become a staple. So
Yeah.
Mine's kind of similar to that. Well, I got a couple, but mine's similar. And I remember in seminary, because it's a very it's a tri-state New York City thing. Dominic the Donkey.
yes,
It's a
Dominic
very-
the Donkey.
It's a very regional thing. So I remember introducing that to my classmates in Iowa, and they were like, "What did we just listen to?" But Dominic the Donkey, very. And looking back on it, it's a very stereotypical Italian thing, but
But it works.
I love it.
It's your
It works.
it's your thing. Yep, it's your thing.
But and this another that's kind of become a traditional, non-traditional Christmas thing is of course Wham. Last
Oh,
Christmas.
Wham! Last
There's-
Christmas. Yeah,
Mhm.
there's so many
to the point
covers
there's
of
now-
that.
Yeah. To the point now it's become a challenge to not hear it at Christmas because it's played everywhere.
Yeah.
I shared on Facebook a picture from Indiana Jones. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, and you ripped it out and yelled "Kali Ma," and it burst into flames.
Tremendous.
And I was also thinking about when I was a kid, I used to have the Alvin and the Chipmunks Christmas album on vinyl. Speaking of vinyl,
Yeah,
it's a
we
little
did too.
more age appropriate than the last album I just said.
we
But
actually
I love that.
Calvin's grandmother. That was gifted to us again from Calvin's grandma for Calvin. So we have it on vinyl now too.
Yeah,
And I had
and
it
it's-
as a kid.
Yeah, and that like chipmunk Christmas song or whatever. I just where Alvin wants a hula hoop. It's a cool album. I don't know that it's satire per se, but it you've got people in high pitched voices singing like chipmunks, so it counts in my book. Not maybe as satire, but definitely funny.
Yeah. Oh man. So my contribution to this is goes by various names, either Christmas rap or Santa rap by the Treacherous 3. Very old school rap outfit, which included Cool Mo D, LA Sunshine, and Special K. So these are some titans in the industry. And it starts out, ho, 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 open up your dough. I'm Santa Claus, and guess what, y'all? I got something to show. And it just gets better from there. So this came from my friend who brought us the wonders of that vinyl, which must not be named. It's a classic Christmas listen for me every single year because it's pretty tremendous. So I did share the link in the Facebook chat. So if you want to add that for people to check out the old YouTubes and give it a listen, that would be worth your time.
Believe it or not, speaking of Chris, I mean, this is definitely not mostly satire. I think it's a legitimate Christmas album, but there is Snoop Dogg presents Christmas in the Doghouse. And most of them sound pretty much like, well, My Little Mama Trippin' on Christmas. Maybe it's not a traditional song, but most of them sound like they're probably fairly traditional. But then you've got traditional in the sense that it's about Christmas, not traditional songs. But then you've got Christmas in the Hood and a Pimp's Christmas song, Landy in My Eggnog. So it sounds like it might be a fun listen.
Yeah.
Now, granted, Snoop Dogg did also put out a gospel record.
Yes. And he was Snoop Lion for a couple of years when he was doing the Rastafarian thing. He definitely has a spiritual side to him. There's no doubt about it. But I think he's left Rastafarianism and is embracing, maybe more of a Christian thing now.
Snoop is, which is cool. Is nothing if not a Renaissance man.
Oops. What was that, Blake? I unplugged myself.
Snoop is nothing if not a Renaissance man.
He is nothing if not a Renaissance man. And he really turned out to be a Renaissance man, and he started young.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like Snoop Dogg. I don't always appreciate some of the lyrics because it's kind of not my culture, and I'm not cool on degrading women and things like that. But his music has never. I mean, it started off that way, but it evolved over time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like initially he was doing the whole tough kid from the hood thing, and now he's just like, Snoop Dogg. He doesn't have to do that anymore. Everybody knows he's a household name at this point. He bakes with Martha Stewart. I mean,
he collabs with Martha Stewart a lot.
Yeah. So I do like Snoop Dogg. I appreciate him.
They've given each other cred. So
yeah, him and Dr. Dre and the OGs. You gotta give them props. Yep. So that sounds like a good bonus segment to me. We had a lot of fun, and hopefully our patrons enjoyed this, and hopefully we'll, in the new year, we'll get more patrons to enjoy our extended goofiness.
Yeah.
How about I put out this challenge to our patrons we have, but our listeners in general. Maybe the more patrons we get, we can bring back the shithouse theology segment.
Oh, we should bring out the shit. And here's another challenge. To our patrons. Share. Just share our Patreon account, share our episodes, whatever you can do to share. It takes 3 seconds. It's easy. It's fun. And hopefully that will attract more people to what we're doing, especially if we're doing something like a live event or something that's exclusive to patrons. Share it. Even though they can't access it, they'll want to. They'll be like, what do you mean I can't see this?
Right.
So yeah, share. In fact, we did pick up a patron that way. So,
nice.
Yeah. So, I guess this leads us to our conclusion, which, as always, friends, I need to remind you, be excellent to each other.
And don't be a jerk.
Skull.
Skull. Rock on, guys. It's been great.